about. And so I had been hearing a lot of buzz for a while. And so at the beginning of this year, I launched a survey and I asked a number of trichologists to just give a state of the industry. What is going on in their heads? How do they feel about the state in terms of how they network, not just quality of education, but, is there uncertainty in how they are to navigate within this space? And the results were not surprising because I had heard a lot of buzz about how people felt. And they want, on top of everyone's list, was credentialing. So even though a lot of the members or people who practice trichology, they feel that they are certified from the whatever educational system that they receive their trichology training. However, no one felt as though there was a standardization of care within the industry and that there should be a level of credentialing for practitioners, no matter where they come from, that they can actually have their stamp of approval. And so that is something that we are working towards. And with that came creating an advisory board for people who I knew in the industry. And so we have a comment. Hi, congratulations. This is wonderful. Thank you, Facebook user. I don't see your name, unfortunately. But this is something that we felt were needed. And I had sidebar conversations with a number of key stakeholders. And so we have an advisory board. And so from the advisory board, then I had to appoint people, members of the board of directors. And so they are people who were in my own wheelhouse, right? So people who not only have the passion, but also appreciated the mission of what it is that we wanted to do, taking into consideration the feedback that we got from the survey. So even though I am someone who started this, I don't feel that this is my organization. I am acting as the executive director. However, we do have a president. And with that, I am going to hand this off to the president because she is the one who runs things and I just do as I'm told and I implement. So with that, I am going to introduce Demetria Hayden. So introduce yourself, Demetria.
Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. I first want to thank you all for tuning in on this Monday morning, which is a holiday. So I know you all could be doing plenty of other things right now, like resting, right? So we appreciate you guys joining in with us on this morning so that we can just tell you about this exciting new association that our founder had a vision about, and we just joined on and we're running with that vision. So again, my name is Demetria Hayden. I am the president of the Trichology Association, the Association for Professional Trichologists. I'm sorry, that's the whole name. And so just to give you an overview, I want to start with just letting you know everyone that's on the board of directors. So by name, and you see the names on the screen. I'm Demetria, I'm D. Hayden. I am the president of the association. Then we have our vice president, which is Marvelette Bailey. Both her and I, we are practitioners of trichology. She's a certified trichologist as well. Then we have our vice president-elect, which is Samaria Granberry. You see her name on the screen as well. Wave, everybody wave. And so Samaria is not only a certified trichologist, but she's a registered dietitian and a nutritionist, certified nutritionist as well. And then we have our treasurer, raise your hand, Dr. Candy. We have Dr. Candy, Candy Lewis Williams. She's a board certified naturopathic, a practitioner and educator of trichology. So, and then lastly, the ones that are present, we have our secretary, which is Dana Wilson. Wave, Dana. So Dana, she's also a certified trichologist, but she's also a certified sister law consultant and a mentor and a coach. And then a member that's not present, a member at large, which is Dr. Clodagh Ryan. She's actually a board certified physician of family practice medicine. So that's our board of directors, and as you can see, we have um, just a whole different backgrounds that's a part of the association, which leads me to the overview of the what we're all about. Our main focus is something that's really missing in this industry, in the trichology industry, and the hair care professional hair care industry. And what's missing is unification. Unification. So being unified, and that's what's been missing in this area. And so that's why our founder, who I did mention, Dr. Crystal Porter, who is the executive director of the association, she had a dream that we should be unified, and we all agreed with her. So she reached out to us, and we wholeheartedly said, yes, we're in. Because we know that this is something that's needed in this industry. So that's our main mission, our main aim. Is centered around that much needed element of unification and just being unified in the industry. Our aim is to meet the needs of the trichologists, but not only the trichologists, but the actual hair care professionals in the industry. And we want to foster like an environment of trust and collaboration, and not only that, but credentialing, which is really needed in the industry as well. We're going to be collaborating through this association with professionals like, of course, trichologists, certified trichologists, also medical doctors. That's something missing in this industry. They've kind of, I don't know, swayed away from the trichologists in the hair care industry, but now they're coming back, and we want to collaborate with that, and we want to make a safe place where we can all collaborate together and do it in a unified way. And what else am I missing? We want to collaborate not only with the trichologists and the medical doctors, but we have nutritionists that are on board with us. We have scientists, chemists that are on board with us to help us with things like product knowledge and product formulation. We have barbers and natural hair care professionals. We have it all under one umbrella. And we're so excited to be able to bring all of these things together so that we can develop a more trusted industry, and so that we can all work together in a unified manner so that we can help the many people that are suffering from hair loss and hair and scalp issues. And the only way that we'll be able to do that if we come together in a unified way. And I don't want to talk too much, so I know we only have 45 minutes, so I'll turn it back over to our founder, Dr. Crystal.
No problem. But I wanted to take this opportunity as we have a discussion about the launch to go into what most people want to know. I do see Trina Morden, and then we have Brianna is here, and then it was Victoria Barbosa, Dr. Victoria Barbosa, who made the comment about this is wonderful. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. But if you have questions, I mean, we're going to answer some of the questions as we go along, but feel free to come in and make any comments. So I want to talk about how is this organization different from others, because I think people can be confused because there are different trichology associations or societies out there. And so I want Marvelette, who is our vice president, to talk a little bit about that.
So one of the main things that makes us different from other associations, as Demetria and Dr. Porter already stated, our focus is on unifying the industry. There is a huge disconnect between the medical field and trichologists, medical professionals, I should say, and trichologists, and also I'm gonna say cosmetologists who are interested in servicing or even identifying issues with people suffering from hair loss. So that's one of the big things. And then credentialing. When we say credentialing, what we mean is those who hold the trichology title or who practice in hair loss to credential you to prove that you are on a level to where you can successfully help somebody, or what you know is valid, basically across the board. So we all hold the same credentialing. So what we're trying to do is make sure that everybody pretty much is on the same level. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Partnering with educational experts. And then another thing, our executive board is voted on by the members of the association. So that's something it's basically controlled by the association members, not by schools or large stakeholders. We take the advice of the trichologists or the members and those needs that they want, and we put them to use. We actually listen, and we use that as a guide to how we want to run the association.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
So we also have a rotation of leadership, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Every
people are in office no more than 2 years.
Yes.
That's usually the maximum that someone will stay in office. And like you said, it gets voted through. And then I also know that even though a lot of the educational entities have education from key stakeholders, I think that this association main focus is to partner with those existing educational entities, because our focus isn't to come up with a curriculum. That is not what we're going to do. We're going to partner with existing entities that are out there and just make sure that the standard of teaching is where it should be in terms of having citations, having discussions based on not just what other people are reviewing, but having a clear definition as to whether or not someone is speaking from experience or if they are speaking from research that has been done from someone else and they're disseminating the information, but providing the background information to justify why we should even care. Now, we do have a question. Will there be a membership category for medical professionals?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
You want me to answer that?
Yes, Demetria.
Yeah. So yes, there is a membership category for the medical professionals. As actually, I could just go into the organization, a different type of membership classifications. So there are four membership classifications. The first one is the general membership. And in the general membership, that's available for all those that are engaged in practice of trichology and any other supportive industry or academic area in medicine, nutrition, science, and product formulation. So for the medical professional, they would fall under the number one membership classification, which is the general membership. And then we have under that is the adjunct membership. And that's available for those that are interested in the objectives of the association, but they haven't yet qualified for the full general membership. And there are some qualifications. And if you go to our website, trichology.association.org, it has all of the information on there. You can navigate through the website and you can see all of the different qualifications that's needed. One of the qualifications that's needed is that you would need 11 hours of trichology study. And so that's one of the qualifications. And then after that, you need, I believe it's 5 years of experience for 5 years as a member in order to become a general member. And then we have the third one, which is the student membership. Because we want to include everyone, we think it's important that we start at that school level as well, because as they're coming out of cosmetology school and barber school and all of the different natural hair care schools, because you have schools for that as well, even esthetician. They practice trichology as well, some of them. And so we want to start at the school level so that as they're coming out of school, they'll come out with a lot of education in the trichology area, the area of trichology, so that they can better serve their clients. So, and that's the student membership, and that's available for all state board, state approved schools. So you have to be in a state approved school in order to qualify for a student membership. And then we have the last one, which is the retired membership. And that's for any member who has retired from the trichology industry, and that's over the age of 55 years old, and that's in good standing for at least 15 years in good standing of the association. So to answer your question, whoever that was and answer the question about the medical, you would fall under the first classification, which is the general membership.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Now we have another question. How do you validate whether everyone is on the same level? I think that kind of goes into the credentialing part.
You want me to answer that one as well?
I can go into it just a little bit. And so, one of the things, I mean, what makes us unique as individuals is that we're not all on the same level. However, we all should have a baseline, fundamental, uh, just the competency of what is expected and or that standardization within the in the industry needs to exist. And so while we're not trying to take away anybody's uniqueness, what we are trying to do is make sure that there is a minimum competency that exists. And you can't do that unless you do some type of credentialing. Now, the credentialing is going to take some time because it has to be done through a third party. And that third party has to consider all the key stakeholders. So there's a minimum of what you should know when it comes to what you can and cannot do in terms of diagnosing, in terms of what you can and cannot do in terms of giving advice and working with a medical professional such as a dermatologist. There are things that you should know when it comes to nutrition. In the industry or in research, when it comes to nutrition, oh my gosh, there are so many variables that can affect what the bioavailability of certain nutrients that you may introduce to the body via supplementation or food. There's a lot of variation. And I think a lot of times you hear advice that just seems like it's a one size fits all approach. And so you have to have information that you are basing on what's going on in research, but also that you need to take into consideration in terms of partnering or working with someone who has the credentials, who are up on all the research when it comes to nutrition. So I say all that to say where there people aren't going to be on the same level because we all have different backgrounds and experiences, but I think you should have baseline knowledge that is from a standardized or accepted, not just curriculum, because I do believe in the freedom of people being able to get education from various areas, but you need to have the fundamentals down, and it is agreed upon by third party experts. So that is how we're going to validate, and that's going to take some time. It is I have gotten quotes. It takes about a year to pull all that together. But we wanted to start the organization because there's a lot of other work that needs to be done. And so having those key stakeholders come together and weigh in on what's important to them and make sure that we all communicate is extremely important. So hopefully that answers your question, Winnie. And thanks for joining. All right, I don't see any other questions, but we do have other things that we can talk about. So how about the benefit of membership? Because here we are, we have this organization and there are several people who are going to be like, okay, who are you? Where'd you come from? And I'm going to put it out there. You look at the screen and you see all Black women. And so I have to be honest in the sense that I really did attempt to make it more diverse, and things get started based on who you know and who you trust. And so I trust all of these women, and I did reach out to others, and it was just very difficult to get some people to get back to me. And I know everyone is busy, so these women were able to come on and get down and dirty and spend a lot of time, a lot of hours behind the scenes, and volunteer their time. So I'm very appreciative. So Dana, can you talk about what is the benefit? Why
Well,
did you join?
first, I want to say no apology needed about the color on this screen. I'll just be telling you right up front. We are who we are, and we're standing up for the cause here. But some of the benefits, and we want this organization to be attractive so that people will actually want to sign up. And so we have a whole list of benefits. But let me start by networking. That's one of the things that we talked about. I know Demetria and Dr. Porter was saying it's all about unification. So we want everybody to be unified. And so we don't want all these separates, right? We want to come together and share information. So we want to network and we want to create opportunities to network, which we'll be talking about soon about our summit that we're going to be having real soon here. That is one of those opportunities that all industry leaders or organizations can come to this summit so that we can share information. That's one, networking. The other one is community engagement. We want to create platforms or events or opportunities to share with the community who we are and what we do, and more importantly, just about trichology in general, because some people still don't know what that is, right? And so we want to be able to do that. Credentialing that Dr. Porter shared with before is one of our main focus that, as well. Continue education is another piece that we're working on, right? Being able to get CEUs, is that right? For people who are already who are cosmetologists and who need those hours. And then a professional directory. I remember when I came out of school, you don't know where people are. Like you can Google some stuff, but part of this organization, we're going to make that available where you can kind of see a list of where people are so that you can get to them. And we're talking about from other trichologists to people that provide products and like nutritionists. There is going to be a directory that you can go to, which that's huge, huge, because people are fishing everywhere, and you can go to a vetted source. The other is members discounts, right? Of course, just like you go to Costco, right? You can go somewhere else and say you're a Costco member and you get a discount on something. We want to be able to eventually provide discounts for people in different places if you're a member of our association. And the other big part was obviously we want to have this movement to create a framework for standard care. Dr. Pointer was talking about it earlier. We want to create an expectation for the client when they go see a trichologist. This is what you should expect on the baseline level. That's not to say some people have more experience or know about more advances, but we should have a baseline level of what we should expect when we go see a trichologist. And that's part of what our mission is here and what we plan to share across the board. Let's see what else we have. Did I miss anything? Oh, collaboration, of course. If we know who we are, then we can collaborate with one another, right? If I know that Marvelette is in Chicago, then I can collaborate with her on something in Chicago and so forth. So that's one of the benefits as well. And of course, being abreast of the latest and greatest in technology and research. Like Dr. Porter mentioned earlier, we want it to be evidence-based things that we're doing here. We're not just saying we can do something, we actually have some data to prove it. And we want to be sharing that with our members so they know that. And then that might attract them to actually um, grab that product or technology and put it into their practice as well. And of course, the member directory, and then continue education, education, education. Things go fast in this time, right? With technology advances, research, you want to stay abreast, and you want a vetted source to go to or a trusted source to go to be able to get that information. To know, is this valid or is this just talk, right? So those are some of the benefits for our association. Did I miss anything? Anybody?
Well, you missed your personal touch.
Oh,
What made you even
oh.
want to be involved in this?
Well, so I am a sister lock educator, a consultant, and a coach, right? So I am not a cosmetologist. And so for some who are locticians or natural hairstylists, we get lost in the sauce. Some people don't give us the respect and credit that is due because we are the first line of defense behind the client's head as well. And so sometimes you need a little credibility behind you, right? And so being a part of, even though you're doing the work out there, we are professionals who are also hair loss professionals, right? Or hair loss specialists. And sometimes you need a little credibility behind you, a little ammo, a little education. And that's why I decided, because I wanted credibility along with the other things that I'm doing in my business. So I think it's a great opportunity as a natural hairstylist or a practitioner who is dealing with hair on an everyday basis, who is interested in either in hair loss or interested in the hair loss field.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you had a great perspective from someone who is not a cosmetologist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people think that when you're in the industry of cosmetology, it's like really easy to go into trichology. But we also have Candy on here, Dr. Candy, I should say, and she's a naturopathic physician. So can you talk about what was your pull to want to be a part of this?
Been in the industry, oh gosh, over 12 years, I believe, and have been teaching. And what I did find, can you all hear me okay? Haven't sound that's great. I found this to be a novel approach, what we're doing here. It's a bottom up, top down model for me. We're looking at, I speak in terms of functional medicine, naturopathic kind of conversation. I also found that the model we're setting for the industry is almost like connective tissue for the body. We're connecting all these vital parts and organs. We're giving, as we call the key stakeholders or educational institutions, whatever, information and tools that they can use to continue to level up their education. Possibly draw members for their coursework. And also, one of the things I liked best was that all members are welcome to the table, no matter what level they feel they've achieved in the industry. Every level is important, and they have a seat at the table. So I'm like, grab a chair, pull up, and you have that opportunity. And sometimes if you don't check in with the folks you're trying to serve, you miss steps. And I think that we've put things in place or beginning to put things in place and are willing to make changes and adjustments. It doesn't become rigid like connective tissue as we get old, you know. Well, hopefully that just kind of happens, but we're trying to stay flexible in the industry. And just provide the tools. And that's one of the things I like in terms of the membership. All members are welcome. And I think I said everyone has a seat at the table, whether you're licensed, certified, a student, or an educational entity. You have a voice. So that's what was important for me. Yeah. And to just stay involved. Stay current. You know, at one point I'm like, oh, you know, I'll keep my toe in the water of the industry because I have a lot of different modalities that I'm using in my practice. But you haven't got this, Dr. Porter, but it's like working with this team of women, being invited was an extreme honor to be trusted to start this process. And I found each one of these women engaging, collaborative, standing their own ground, having their own creative ideas, and bringing them to the table. It's just been a wonderful process for me. And everyone that I'm finding are connectors, which I think is vitally important. They're connectors. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. All right, so Samaria, can you give some information about how can someone join?
So looks like the website is on the screen. Can you guys see the website on the screen? www.trichology.org. So from the website, if you click on that link, you should be able to click at the top where it says become a founding member, which there are lots of great benefits to becoming a founding member. One being that membership lasts through 2024, correct? 2024? Yes. And so that's how you can join and become a member. So just go to the website, click become a founding member. There's also a referral program, which I think someone's going to talk about in a little bit. So you can make a little bit of extra money by kind of spreading the word for people to become members as well. So super simple. There's a application process just to kind of get some background information about you before we approve your application. But that is how you can start the process via the website. Again, that's www.trichology.association.org.
Thank you for that. And well, before I go on to the referral marketing program that we have, I want to address what Shirley McDonald said. She said, that sounds so good here. Congratulations. In the UK, the Institute of Trichologists, which was established in 1902, is currently in the process of applying to be recognized as an allied health profession like podiatrists or other medical professionals with the Professional Standards Authority. So our training is very extensive, 2.5 to 3 years, followed by further 2 years preceptorship. And we have a membership body. Yes, they accept members from other educational bodies. So that is wonderful. And so one of the things I think you're describing is more regulatory. So making sure that you are accepted in that capacity, which I think is absolutely great. And one of the I want to say challenges, but one of the things that we have to be very strategic about is making sure that we can increase standards that go beyond what is like allowed in terms of in the regulatory space. And what I mean by that is we can hold each other accountable before that, because that takes a lot of time. It's a lot of politics that has to be at play with that. And if we think about politics, there are powers that be are actually stripping, like on the state level, even having requirements for someone to do hair, so you aren't like forced to even have to worry about sanitation. So that's a whole nother beast. So one of the things that we need to do is to look at the models that exist outside of the United States, because in all honesty, I believe that the models that exist in other countries are working a lot better than they are here in the US. And so while we're trying to figure that out, it does not mean that we cannot hold each other accountable and not have a system in place that considers all of the important intricacies of what trichology is all about. So that is what we're doing. And so I wanted to mention, that, but thank you for sharing that, because we are not telling people that they should not be a part of other organizations. I don't think that that would work, because that's how we actually need to partner to get some of the education that a lot of practitioners of trichology need, what the field needs. And so I did want to talk about the referral marketing program, because as a nonprofit, it's important for us to grow, and we need to grow fast in order to get money to pay for this third party who was going to do the credentialing. So we have to build our membership base. And so what we're doing is hoping that people will sign up to refer others to become members. And so once again, you can go to the website, www.trichology.association.org. And there is a button that you can click in terms of joining the referral marketing program. And basically, you give the information, you let us know how you need to get paid for referring others. And depending upon which referral marketing program you sign up for, because there are two. The first one is for membership, and the other one is to attend the launch event that we're having. So we're going to have a summit here in Chicago, and it's going to, well, I won't go into that. We have someone who's going to go into that. But there are two different types of referral marketing programs, and I'll just stick with membership. For membership, it is going to be, you get paid at the end of the month if the transaction occurred before the 15th of the month. So when you refer someone, you get a referral link. And then when people click on your referral link and they become members, and you get credit for it, and you get paid at the end of the month if the transaction happens before the 15th. So check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. And with that, I will go on to value. So, Dr. Candy, if you could talk about any value that you've received, and we haven't even, I mean, this is the launch, but what I have been amazed by are, comments that we've had as a board, especially for those who are on the board of directors of other organizations, how it has been just a way to generate ideas for other areas of your life. So, Candy, Dr. Candy.
Just right off the bat, in terms of when I said connection, I mean, just, you express the need that, I'm building a program or we're looking at insurances and all the things that you need to run a business, and all the challenges, just the willingness to connect, and bring those types of people to the table, in terms of those that support our industry, IT people. Just there's so much out there. So just in terms of getting things set up, there was a lot of connection there in terms of, oh, okay, this person's doing this or that or the other, which is great. And they're trusted people, because sometimes you don't know, So as we talked about vetted, the word vetted. So these are vetted referrals. And then I just said the value for me is having a seat at the table. Those of us who are old enough to remember the yellow pages, you kind of let your fingers do the walking through. Now we're scrolling through our, our contact list. But to be able to have a place where you can open up your membership list and see who is doing what. If that's where you want to go or you want to work with, those things are valuable. So just in getting this started, it's kind of like birthing a baby. It's like we're designing this. I know I go off into my analogies. I go off because that's the way I think. However, the DNA is there. We're developing that on what we want, and it's not necessarily a competitiveness. It's what can we offer them. And when I say go upstream, what comes downstream, we've seen things that, muck that isn't quite working. So we go upstream and find out what needs to happen. Who are the key steps? I'm getting redundant and we're going to lose time, but that's the thing that's so important. And I can't reiterate enough. We're part of the leadership. It's not just we're getting this particular structure. It's handed down. It can't be changed. The ideas aren't welcome. You can run for office no matter what your credentialing licensing is. And so there's a lot of fairness and balance that I find within the body, the organization.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so I know you went into this, Demetria, already, but is the organization only for trichologists? And of course it's not, because there are a lot more other key stakeholders. Did you go into the cost of membership?
I don't think I did. I'm not sure if I did, but I can go into it. The cost of membership, the cost to join is $299 for general and $99 for students. But I believe that for our founding membership, if you want to join now up until 2024, we have a special going on. If you want to be a founding member, the cost is only $249. So we encourage you all that if you are interested in, and I know you are because this is I've spoken to so many hairstylists and hair care professionals and psychologists that are interested in an organization like this. So I encourage you that if you want to be a founding member, to go on the website and join now through the end of, through the beginning of 2024, so that you can get that discount of $249, because after that, the regular price is going to be $299 for general and $99 for students.
Correct. And so there are going to be some people who are like trigger shy. They're like, I don't know about this organization. I still want to figure out what they're all about because we're just scratching the surface in terms of the discussions that we need to have, especially for key stakeholders. So, Samaria, are you able to give us an alternative to just joining off the back in terms of what people who may be interested can do while they're trying to figure out membership?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that we're working on, which we've kind of hinted at like throughout our talk today, is that we're having a launch event in Chicago. So those dates are October 21st through the 23rd. So it'll be our inaugural Unity Summit in beautiful Chicago. So that's an option for you, to come learn more about the organization, to, meet some of us in person, talk more, ask more questions. And then also, gain lots of information from some amazing speakers that will be announced really soon. So it's an opportunity for you to come, learn more about the organization and really then decide there, if you'd like to be a part of the organization based off of your experience there. So that's an option that's coming up really soon. I was recently in Chicago. It's so beautiful, and so you can enjoy Chicago, when we're not in the summit. So that's also another amazing benefit of having an in-person event, is that you get to travel, and enjoy the city as well.
So, Marvelette, can you give us a little bit more details about what's going to go on at the summit?
Um, so we're going to have 6 very powerful guest speakers. We're going to have Dr. Victoria Barbosa. Um, she's going to discuss the dermatological concerns. Um, we have Larick Calhoun. He's in marketing and sales, so he'll address those things. Because a lot of times, once people become a trichologist, they have trouble with marketing and trying to establish their business that way. So he's going to touch on some things there. We have Angela Ellington. She is a hair care scientist, and she'll talk about formulation and white labeling, different things that you should know about that. We have Samaria Granberry, who's here with us. She's going to talk about nutrition and the body. We have Dr. Jared Hampton, Marcel. He's going to talk about trichology-driven research. We have Nadia Hughes. She's going to talk about case studies and the success of them. So different successes she's had through her case studies and through her practice and through her class, because she teaches also. We have Dr. Crystal Porter. She's going to talk about the state of the industry. And then we have a couple of panel discussions. One very, very important discussion that keeps coming up, Dr. Victoria Barbosa is going to be on this panel, I know for sure, talking about bridging the gap for unity between the medical professionals and the trichologists, which is very, very much needed. But we're going to hear their side. They're going to explain why it's hard to bridge the gap and what the problem is and what we should know and how we can make that happen. So that's very important. That, to me, that's one of the all of it's powerful, but that's something that we really, really need to address. Yeah. And then there's going to be a second panel discussion about business strategies and success stories. Talk about how to have a successful business in trichology, because that's another issue that is ongoing in the industry. A lot of trichologists are having trouble having a successful business and learning how to strategize and make how to maximize their business. So I think we have a lot of powerful subjects, a lot of knowledge and wealth in here. So I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be beneficial to all those who attend. And we also have virtual attendance as well. So we talked about the in-person, but if you cannot, if you're not willing to travel, you can't travel right now, you can join us virtually.
And how about the costs?
So the cost of the summit for our members is $299. And if you're for general admission, if you're not a member, it's $349. And this would be an excellent way for you to decide if you want to be a member, because you get a glimpse of what there is to come and what you're in store for. And then also get to meet everybody and see the speakers we have, and they'll kind of let you know what kind of education we're bringing that you're in store for. The virtual and the in-person is the same price. And yeah. And you have the opportunity to sign up for a membership at the actual event. So that's another perk. If you're there, you liking what you see and you're enjoying it, you can sign up there, which will take you into the end of 2024. So you still will be a founding member, even if you sign up at the actual summit.
Yes. And how can they register?
They can register by going to the website on the screen, www.trichology.association.org, and click on Become a Founding Member.
Yes.
And
Awesome.
you will be listed for a lifetime as a founding member. So that is a perk.
Yeah, and the other perks about being a founding member is even though we have an advisory board, I think people on the advisory board will know. So we have a board of directors, and yes, we have lots of ideas, but the more diversity you can get in terms of experience and train of thought and what your needs are, the better we can serve. So being a founding member also allows you, I mean, yes, you can have a seat at the table because as a voting member, you get to know what your leadership is going to be or weigh in. But you also need to have a smaller community where you can be a part of the discussion as well. So this allows you to have a say so. And that is what I felt was really important for the members to be empowered to feel as though their voice matters. And so as a founding member, with the organization being so young and with us still just formulating and getting it to be what it can be, you have a larger voice being a founding member as well. Yeah. Any other comments about that? Cool. All right. And so looking forward to joining for the summit. Yes, thank you, Dr. Barbosa. Really appreciate that. And then I did want to say that Dr. Barbosa is a board certified dermatologist because there is a difference. Not all physicians are created equal. And also Dr. Barbosa is someone who specializes in hair loss as well, because all dermatologists aren't necessarily created equal as well. Not to say that they aren't good at what their specialty is, but I do know that a lot of times when you have hair loss issues, it's important for you to have someone experienced. Stephanie said, glad you can join the conversation. Thank you. Fundy Fee, yes, thank you for sharing. And thanks for your comments. Let's see. I thought I saw another. Oh, Renee Watts is also here, says good afternoon, and Jessica Davis. So yeah, awesome. So we're getting close to the end. So if you have any questions, if you are joining us, please let us know. But also there is a contact us form on the website in case you come up with something. Oh, Thumar Arjun, you say hello as well. So thank you for joining. So we have the referral marketing program also for the summit. So say you're like, oh, I don't want to, come off for all that money, but I do know I have connections and I know I want other people to be there with me, then you can also still have a referral link. So can you give information about that, Demetria?
About the referral marketing program. So if you want to be also the same as when you get someone to sign up under and get I think it's 10%, am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, you're going to get 10% off when you share your link. And if they register for the summit, then you will get, once they register, you will get 10% of the cost. Mm-hmm. So we encourage all of the hair care professionals or anyone that's interested in that to, when you sign up for the referral, and you can do that on the website as well. The website is on the screen, trichology.association.org, and go to click on the referral program link, and it can direct you step by step as to how to do it. Mm-hmm. You just share that link, and it's like easy money. You actually get paid to share the link. When people sign up, then you get paid. So it's really good. And one more other thing I want to add that I just thought about, when you come to the summit, we're going to have a survey because, again, we're trying to unify everyone. So we're going to have a survey available for everyone that attends, and they can take that survey and then give their comments concerning if they liked it or not, the things that they liked about it, the things that they didn't like, the things that they would want to see in the future. so that we can make it even bigger and better on next year and the year after and the year after. So we want to make sure that we're increasing in everything that we do concerning the association.
Awesome. All right. And thanks, Amber. Thumar Arjun says, how do my game marketing on Google? No, I don't understand that question. So, all right. Winnie says, thanks so much for sharing. Looking forward to staying in touch and getting involved. Awesome. Now, the other thing I would want to add is if you are a vendor and you are interested in vending, we do have certain criteria for vending because it has to serve this particular industry. And so you can reach out to us on the contact us page. I do want to mention that. Any closing words, Demetria?
I guess we can close out with just encouraging whoever's listening and that's interested in something bigger and better that we can collaborate with and be unified in, that I encourage you to just be a part of it. I know what drew me to it, and it's the collaboration of it and the unification of it. And I think that there's so many hair care professionals that are out there feel the same way that I do. I've been in this industry for 40 years, the hair care industry for 40 years. And I've been studying trichology for like 30 of those 40 years. And over the years, it's just been like kind of hard, like Dr. Candy said earlier, everyone deserves a seat at the table. Right. And this is an association where everyone will have a seat at the table. It's no big eyes and little eyes, big U's and little U's. Everyone will have an opportunity to have a seat at the table. And that's what drew me to it. And I know it's going to draw others to it too. So we encourage you all to just come and be a part of this association and come to the summit so that you can learn everything about everything that we're trying to do within this association.
Yeah.
And may I just add real quick, I just want to reiterate that it started out with the survey, listening to the concerns of the people. Mm-hmm. So we took those surveys and took all the concerns that everybody had and formulated the association.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
All right. So thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. If you have any other questions, there is a contact us form. And so you can reach out. I think all of us are available. So reach out individually as well. So if you know someone or you're closer to someone and you just want to have a candid conversation, do that. And with that, we thank you for your attention and hope you enjoy the rest of your Labor Day holiday. All right.
Bye.
Bye.